Hello, 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 people. Welcome back to the Knowledge and Power Podcast, the KNP Show.
Yeah. What's up?
I got with me Jake and Ray.
Hey.
What's going on, fellas?
It's all good.
Not a whole lot.
All the way from Muskegon, the illustrious artiste, Mr. Jake Jeremy Harris.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. You got anything new that you working on?
Man, I've been working on basement renovations. So that's kind of put my paintings on the back burner for a minute.
But you almost done?
Yeah, almost. I just like 2 other things to complete and then I'm done. But I'm in the middle of a painting that I just haven't completed. So
okay.
It's coming.
So for those of you who don't know, Jake is an abstract artist. Now, Jake, I know the name of your page, but I'm gonna let you say it so people can find it. Go ahead.
Sure. It's J Harris Abstract Artistry.
All right.
And that's on Facebook and Instagram.
Very good.
Man, that sounds so professional, man.
I know. Have you?
Thank you.
I have a couple of his works, and the brother is talented. You see what I'm saying? Talented. I mean, seriously, it's inspiring to see the kind of things that he creates. It's awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
But now we move to the ever wise Ray McKinstry.
Hey,
what's going on, brother? What you got for us this week? What happened this week? Anything get you pumped up for tonight?
Nothing got me pumped up for tonight. But I would like to say who we're not being sponsored by tonight. How about that?
Okay. Let's just go to our sponsor segment right now. Ray's going to bring you the anti-sponsor.
Okay,
go ahead, brother.
The anti-sponsor for tonight is not AAA. How about that?
Okay, you got to explain why AAA is not sponsoring our show.
You know what? I don't know how deep I can go on my soapbox with this, but let's just say I had a good relationship with AAA for 2 months. Brand new customer. And had an astronomically phenomenal, unbelievable deal for both my vehicles. And out of the blue, in month 3, I look at my account and they've taken out $500 extra.
Wow. That was a setup.
They didn't let you know?
No, they didn't let me know. I just happened to look at my account. I'm like, what the world? So naturally, I jump on and spend 3 hours of my work time. I hope nobody's listening from work, but spend 3 hours of my work time trying to get this thing rectified, and one of the things that they do, I'll say this, and I'm not clowning them, I'm just saying be aware. They load you up, I would say, with at least about 4 to 6 emails a day.
Really?
Throughout the week. You're just getting hit with, oh, thank you. Oh, take this survey. Oh, we appreciate your business. And then in all of that, it's going to be one pertinent email that you need to read that's important, letting them know that you need to take this action or something's going to change. Well, I don't have time to babysit emails.
Right.
Thank you.
I don't. But I do remember reaching out to one of them one time saying, look, I can't look at all these emails. I just need to know, is there anything important you need from me? Am I okay? And they said, oh, yeah, you're fine. And then lo and behold,
they snatched your money.
I hit that on Thursday, man, and I went to like 5 levels of management, and it wasn't pretty. And I'm still waiting right now for them to rectify it. I mean, I count the money as gone. I will thank God that it was there.
Of course, because you rolling like that, $500. It's like buying a biscuit at KFC. No big deal.
So yeah, but nevertheless, it's a sucker punch feeling.
Yeah.
So we're not being sponsored by AAA.
Not today.
And I'm looking to take my talents like LeBron elsewhere.
Right.
Hopefully next
Might I
month.
recommend State Farm?
Hey,
I've had good success with them.
That's what we have also.
Good relationship.
Is that right? Well, State Farm may have to be the the people for the channel for our podcast, and all three of us have to link up with that.
Yeah, we have to reach out, see if they can sponsor us.
But I'll say this, and
like a good neighbor.
State Farm is it. Well, all those cliches, though, man. Detroit, we need some special attention. You know how our city is.
Yeah.
And I'm not throwing our city into the bus, but we get a hard raw deal sometimes. So.
But your insurance in Detroit is like off the chain.
Well, I'm gonna tell you,
compared to Lansing.
I was paying $285 for my vehicles, and before they gouged me. So we're not being AAA, who we're not being sponsored by.
Okay.
That's A3 times.
2 thumbs down.
Right, but that's after telling you were okay.
Exactly. So I got all that. I got all that, and
did you get the money back, right?
Not yet. But I'm not letting it go. We're still.
You gotta call somebody.
Going back and forth.
Side of the fan.
Tell them put it back.
It was like, can we call you? I was like, no, I'm not hanging up. I don't trust you. But anyway,
wow.
But I'm pumped for tonight because we got a carryover from last week's show. We got a lot of feedback from it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. We done?
I'm done.
Okay. Yeah, we had a great show last week. Great topic, talking about same-sex relationships and if they work when you're in a committed relationship already.
Wait a minute. What were we talking about?
Last week, you was there, bro?
Wait, what did you just say though?
Jake is like, last week's topic. You remember? Opposite sex relationships when you marry or in a committed relationship.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You said same sex.
Did I say same sex?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I think my AAA story just kind of messed up.
Oh, yeah, you just messed me up.
I'm sorry.
Opposite sex. It's funny because I spent like all day convincing myself that I wouldn't say that, and I still said it.
You were having problems with that earlier today?
Yes.
Why?
Wow.
I don't know. Climate that we're in, I guess. But anyway, so that was a great topic. We had a lot of good feedback, a lot of good questions, comments, and so we thought that we did not cover the broad spectrum of that topic like we wanted to, and we wanted to have another perspective,
right?
The female perspective
of the female persuasion on this conversation. So this week we're going to kind of continue that topic, and we're going to kind of juggle the question: can men and women just be friends? Is that possible when you're in a committed relationship? And so we'll bring our guest on in just a couple more minutes. But
can we rehash?
Yeah, go ahead. Any rehashing?
Because I did think about it throughout the course of the weekend. I'll say this, and this will be mine, and I'll sit back and I'll be a listener more so tonight. The ultimate goal of any relationship is to respect one another. Correct. And if you're married or if you're in just a committed, boyfriend girlfriend relationship heading towards marriage or whatever.
Right.
The ultimate goal is to be successful as possible in their relationship. So with that being said, and I thought about it, I think it's worth talking about, and everybody's not the same. So it's about how you view it. Some people may say that it's not a problem in their relationships, but the most important thing is, as long as you're talking about it, you keep each other open. And the ultimate goal is to be successful. So if there's a problem that comes up or concern, then it's worth dialoguing about. And if necessary, to pull back because somebody's a little concerned, then you should be open to that. But I don't really think that it should cause a problem, but just be open to the fact that I'm in this relationship so that it can be successful as possible. So if I feel any type of issues coming my way, of pressure or inappropriate conversations, then I should be open and honest. We got a lot of feedback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think the thing I pulled away from last week's conversation was that kind of what you just said.
Yeah.
In a relationship, your number one priority needs to be the person you're in the relationship with.
Exactly.
And if a friendship is competing with that or challenging that, or even possibly damaging that, you want to cut that off.
Right.
I think that's the best thing to do. But of course, there are all kinds of sides to that cube that we need to look at. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have any rehash, Jake, before we go to part 2?
Just what you guys are saying. I agree with it all, because anytime you're jeopardizing what you got to live with, that's a problem.
Exactly.
And anything from the outside, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing should be able to come between that, your own household. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Okay.
But that's a guy's point of view.
Yeah, that's a guy's point of view.
So
I mean, so we're going to bring in our special guest here. Before we bring her on, let me just give a brief introduction information about her. Her name is Tishley Janeene Harris.
Yeah.
And if you recognize the last name, she is related to Jake. But we'll let Jake speak on that. But Tishley is an inspirational speaker for women. She's an author, an entrepreneur, a prophetic preacher, and founder of the Healed, Happy, Whole Woman 501c3,
Yes.
which promotes emotional recovery, healing after divorce, and relational trauma for women. I've seen her on her page, and I'll put the link up here for her page if you want to visit over on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I've seen her content. I've seen some of her messages that she's spoken at different conferences and at church and whatnot. Powerful, passionate speaker on the subject of encouraging women to be the best they can be, encourage them for healing and wholeness. And so we are, of course, honored to have Miss Tishley Janeene on the show today. Did you want to say anything, Jake, before I bring her on?
Well, I'm kind of partial to this guest right here. For those that don't know, this is my baby sister. And there's only 2 of us. So me and my baby sister presenting Tishley Janeene.
Put your hands together for Miss Tishley.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Tish. So, Tish is kind of all of our little sister.
Yeah.
Right.
We've been knowing Tishley since she was a young woman.
Yeah.
So we are all glad to have you, Tishley.
Thank
Looking
you.
forward to your perspective on this conversation, and looking forward to getting some insights for the women who may be listening and have an opinion on this subject.
Yes.
So did you get a chance to broach the subject at all before coming on? What are your thoughts about this friendship perspective?
Well, first, let me just thank you guys for opening up your platform for me to come and share. I'm totally honored to be here as a guest. I'm excited about tonight because this is something I'm so passionate about. Just talking about relationships and how to make them work, marriage, separation, divorce, all of those things are facets of my motivational program. And so I'm super excited to dive right in. I do bring the female perspective, but let me just go on record saying a lot of times I am the defense for men because I think I have a great understanding of how we can operate from a female perspective.
Okay.
So this should be very interesting.
Right.
I think so. I think it's going to be exciting.
Yes.
So before we get going, why don't you tell the people who are listening a little bit how you happened upon this venture that you've undertaken, the ministry, Tishley Janeene Inspires, 501c3. How did all that get started?
So this all started from, and I'll give the very short version of everything, but it started from me getting married when I was about 24. 24. And I was married for 7 years, but for 4 of those years, we were completely separated, but still married. So separated for 4 years, living in different spaces. I was still treating the marriage with honor as the covenant that it is, and he was doing a lot of other things. And
Oh boy.
What happened is we ended up in a very public, humiliating divorce after that 4-year separation point. And I was just trying to survive. I had a relationship with God, and I was in that time that I went through depression. I went through all of the emotional roller coaster of divorce. There's so many layers and levels that go with that. And so just healing through that, I remember one day, short version, I got off work and I got home and I had no strength left. This was a little ways into the separation. And I remember falling to the floor and just bawling. I don't even know where it came from. I knew I was drained, but this particular night, I fell on the floor. I couldn't even get back up to go up the steps. And I remember saying, I heard a snap in my mind, and the enemy, for those who are believers and Christians, the devil really whispered in my ear, "You're about to go crazy. You're not going to make it through this." And in that moment, I said, "God, if you get me through this, I'll know I can go the rest of the way." And from that moment, of course, a few things mixed in there, emotional things. It's still a journey. Healing is a journey, but from there, my ministry was birthed because I was just surviving, but women were watching, and I had no clue. So from there, women started messaging me a year or so later. "How did you do it? I'm in a divorce now. My husband cheated. My husband walked out. I saw your journey. How did you do it?" And that birthed this whole ministry. So the story is amazing, and there'll be more coming on the story very soon. So follow my page if you want to know more about how it all came to be and my journey to healing. But that's what birthed me. I wanted to help other women not have to endure all of the emotions and the depression and the trauma that comes with separation, divorce, and heartbreak.
Okay. All right.
All right. That is an amazing story. I know it's a short version.
Yeah.
And but that little bit is powerful. So yeah, like she said, if you want to know the whole story and get more information, her link's right there on the screen. Please go visit the Facebook page, like the page, follow the content.
Buy the book.
Oh, buy the book. Yes, yes. So, fellas and ladies, can men and women just be friends, especially when you are in a committed relationship? I'm going to put up Jay Will's comment from last week because we wanted to kind of help answer that question as best we could.
Okay.
So last week, Jay Will said, here's the questions on the screen. What challenges can occur if you marry someone who is not a friend, or marrying someone who's only a friend but no other attractions? And we kind of rubbed our heads last week because we wanted to really answer the question with some depth.
Yeah.
So anybody want to tackle That question.
I mean, we want to let our guests. I mean, do you feel like you want to chime in on it? Because I hear from
Can you see the question on the screen, Tishley?
Yeah, yep, okay. I can see it. So this is kind of broad, and we're looking at two facets of it because I think there's a difference in the when you're in a committed relationship part and the as a single person part. However, overall, my general answer would be yes, it is possible to be friends with the opposite sex. However, and I'm going to tap right into that question too. I think that the two important factors are the level of maturity and the level of integrity of both people. So it's only doable when you're dealing with someone who has at least a little from those two things. But let's see, the challenges, what challenges can occur if you marry someone who is not a friend? Well, I believe that, and from my experience with marriage and relationships, I believe marriage, whenever possible, should be based on friendship. I am a firm believer in completing the dating process. We rush through the dating process where we become closer. Even if you start out as friends, the dating portion is where you build a tight-knit friendship. So if you don't have that, it's easier to say more quickly when something comes up, I'm out, I'm leaving, because we don't have a foundation anyway.
Okay, can you give an example of what you mean by, just, you don't have to go into long details, but what's an example of the dating process?
To me, the dating process is going out on dates, just enjoying each other, not even with the physical intimacy, because we rush into that as well, not realizing how much that ties our souls and emotions into the person. That can interfere with us being good friends because now we're linking ourselves in a more intimate way prematurely. And so
remember, excuse me. I was just going to say, remember what the older people used to call a courtship.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was.
Yes.
And that's like a lost art.
Yep. It is. And I
These
think
days,
it's so necessary to have that where you just enjoy getting to know the person without the physical stuff. You just do the simple things. Go on some daytime dates. Where you're not even tempted to violate the boundaries of friendship.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, so let's just say I follow your process. And you know, we have decent dialogue, but is that really exposing me or telling me that this is a friend that's marriage material from that process of going out in the daytime and at nighttime, staying away from the intimacy?
No.
Okay.
No, because what I think we have to do, especially as women, I think we have to stop going into dating thinking every person we date is the one. We go in with the mindset that every person we date is the one. But if we clear that out of the whole thing and just go in as, let me see what this person is about. Let me see who he is, who she is, and what they bring to the table and how that complements what I bring to the table. Just coming in from an innocent, pure place of, let me see who this person is versus, well, let me date this person to see if we're going to get married. No.
Okay. That's good.
So you bring about a good point in that people who are friends are probably the best suited to take the next step in going towards marriage. Now, we know there are cases where people get married, arranged marriages, whatever the case might be. And I think that tackles the second part of Jay Will's question. Or the first part, marrying someone who is not a friend. But the second part of the question is, can you really be in a relationship with someone if there's no other attraction? You see what I'm saying? Okay, you're great friends. You can hang out. You talk on the phone. You can watch movies. You can go to golf together. Whatever the case might be, and you've got the friend thing on lock. But you're really not attracted in that manner to that individual. Wow. You don't get the butterflies. You don't have the physical sensation. You don't really see yourself when you're thinking about that person, being with them in that manner.
Yeah.
So can you really take the step and say, I want to marry you, even though I'm not attracted to you?
You shouldn't. I don't think you should.
No,
because again, I think that goes back to forcing. When you're forcing it to, I want to be married, I want to be in a relationship, but it's okay to just be friends. Sometimes you date people and they can end up being one of the best friends you ever had, and that's all it is, and that's all it needs to be. And you don't have to force that next step because we're great friends. So it's likely that the next step is we should date. No, sometimes you meet people thinking you're going to date, and they just become an amazing friend of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Can I ask this question?
Please.
Okay. And then we have to go back to that question for Jay Will, that second half of that question. But before I forget it, I want to say, in the friendship process, can you make the mistake of being friends for too long when you get to this place where you're so cool that you like, that's just my brother, that's just my sister, but you're attracted to them, but because you've been friends for so long, you cannot see yourself beyond anything than just friends?
Is that
that's anyone?
Okay.
Well, that makes me think of a point where, in like the second part of his question, if you're dating or if you're gonna marry someone that you're not attracted to, when you think about it, maybe with the example you just gave, one person becomes attracted and the other one is still friend zoning. So
well, I'm not saying they're friend zoning, but because I actually know situations like that where they block it because they feel like, no, we just been friends for too long. I can't see us no other way than friends.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. So can you hold somebody? Can you get to know somebody so well as a friend that you kind of soil the opportunity of it being anything more? Because I just can't.
I think that's possible. Yeah, because you have the comfort of the friendship, and it's a little more risky to. And I know people who don't want to lose the friendship by messing it up with relationships, so they don't even try to cross the two when there could be an attraction on another level.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, I've seen that. I've known people that have been there because they're just so afraid of spoiling that good thing. But the kicker is, but you settle for going to another person who ideally should be that good friend you can talk about, who you're romantically involved with, and you find yourself retreating back to this good friend who you blocked because we've been friends for so long. So we can complicate things because we're so afraid of rejection, being hurt, or just kind of exploring that that next level of what it could possibly be.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's a good point, Ray. That's a real good point. Go ahead, Jake.
Because if it's that serious, love is already there. If your friendship is that tight, but to go a step further, you're right. It can be a fear where it's fear of the risk.
Yeah.
But if you're feeling that on the inside, it could be worth taking that risk. So just a matter of the individual and the two parties.
True.
So that kind of takes us into our main topic for the day. Let's just say for Ray's scenario, you got this friend, you know what? I might be attracted to him or her, but I don't want to ruin the friendship. So you keep it at a friend level.
Let's take the might out and say you are attracted.
Okay, you are. but you want to keep it at the friend level because you don't want to ruin that. All right.
Okay.
So then down the line, you go ahead and get with someone that you do end up marrying. All right.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Committed relationship, marriage, vows, the whole nine. Where does that friendship now with this person that held the attraction either by you or by the other person? How does that now fit, knowing how you felt about that person, into now I'm married or I'm about to be married, whatever the case might be? How does that friendship work? Come on through, somebody.
I think you're miserable.
Oh man.
You are. You made a mistake, a lifelong mistake, pretty much.
Well, I'll put it this way. The person you married is the person you wanted to marry. Okay? Just because you were attracted to this friend doesn't mean you wanted to marry her. But the person that you chose to marry is the person that you wanted to marry. You got married for all the right reasons, but you have this friendship that existed prior to, and Ray kind of talked about this last week, that existed prior to.
Yeah.
And if it had that element, what are you going to do with that? I expressed my question to Tishley Janeene.
Yeah, because she's about to explode. I see her. She got something.
She's rubbing her hands together. She's like, let me get in there. Let me get in there.
Yeah, where does that go?
But I think that the key is when you enter the relationship, if the friendship is as close and as tight as you say, if it's a great friendship, when you enter that friendship, if everything is on the up and up and it's all clear, you introduce that friend and that friendship to the person you're in relationship with in the form of, this is an amazing friend to me. We've been friends this long. We talk all the time. It's like my brother, my sister, whatever it is. But you introduce that to the person you're in relationship with. That gives them the opportunity to say if they're comfortable with it, if they feel anything that's not good, because sometimes you don't see it, but they may see the attraction from the friend and say, no, I don't want you to continue with that now that you're with me. But you want to keep it open communication with whoever you're in relationship with, and leave room for them to say, I don't like it, or because you came in with it and it seems to be okay, it's okay. I think that respect and that communication is the key.
That's true.
Right. I'm going to offer a challenge after Jake says what he said.
Because it should be like second nature for those two to become friends as well. Yep. If not the same level of friendship, at least, this my babe's friend and we cool, we cordial or whatever.
Not always.
Not always.
If everything is on the up and up,
Not always.
Not always.
I mean, that's the ideal, but the reality is completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now here is my question, Tishley. Like you said earlier that ideally you want to be great friends before going into a serious relationship, marriage being the ultimate one. If that's the case and your spouse is supposed to be that friend, do you think it's possible for an outside friend to provide certain aspects of friendship that the spouse cannot?
Yes. In fact, it's necessary. Because I'm not saying that from the perspective of you should have a deeper bond with someone outside of your marriage, but I'm saying it from the perspective of you need to have friends who you can present things to that not secrets from your spouse, but for me, from my personal experience, there were things that came off as a burden and a weight to my former spouse because I was dropping everything, every things that could have gone to friends for, what do you think about this? What do you think this should be? What do you think?
Because you thought that was his role. He should have been able to possibly want to share that with you, right? Your former spouse.
Yeah, I presented it though. I presented it sometimes to the friend before taking it to the to say, hey, where, because for me it was like, well, I don't want to drop. Actually, I had someone that I dated tell me, like, you should don't put everything on me, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, every weight, every care, every thought that you have, you should have, not necessarily, but we're talking about the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Careful. But I do, my male friends give me a great perspective on my male relationships. Mm-hmm. And I value there have been times when something has been going on in a relationship, and one of my closest friends who is male, I've called him to say, what do I do? Because I don't want to make it stressful for him. I don't want to add something to him that doesn't have to be there. So getting that perspective has been extremely helpful. But again, the maturity, the integrity is key, because if you have someone who doesn't care about violating respect and all of that, is going to work out differently. But I value enough the friends advice to know how to apply it, and that male perspective helped a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Ashley Marie in the comments says,
"Hi, Ashley Marie.
You definitely can. You need a respectable outlet."
That's
a great perspective.
That's a great term, an outlet. You do need another outlet, and I mean, you just have to be careful with the opposite sex. Let me just throw this out here. As women, we have to be, and any women that are watching, I love y'all. I don't even know you, but I love you. So I'm saying this from love, but we've got to start really dealing in truth. If you know if you're attracted to your friend and you know there's some feelings there with your friend, then you've got to deal in truth. Don't present it to your mate, your husband, your boyfriend like, oh, that's nothing. That's my friend. It's all good. And you have some secret hidden feelings. You got to be open and honest and upfront from the start with yourself first. Mm-hmm. Don't lie to you and say it's just friends and it's more. And then lie to him and say it's just friends and it's more. If you deal in truth, you're going to come out better in the end.
Mm-hmm. That's very good.
Wisdom is supreme. I'll say that. And it definitely, and that's why maturity is important in relationships. Yeah. And I really don't think a lot of times we approach relationships the right way with maturity. And we're, like you said, Tisha, that we have to be truthful. Mm-hmm. We're not truthful. I think a lot of times we get involved because, we want to dismiss the loneliness, the boredom, that type of deal. Yeah. And all those good nuggets of stepping back, observing, okay, what just happened? We just went out, we just had a conversation. How did that make me feel? How did they respond when I said X, Y, Z? We have to examine all those things. Yes. Because especially if we're moving towards something. And I just don't think that we've done our due diligence over time to really look at that type of insight when it comes to relationship. We just get in them.
I agree. Mm-hmm. Which is why I'm here.
Right. You are offering a great perspective. We appreciate that. Yes. This is, like I said last week, this is such a broad topic. Man.
Yeah, very
it's
broad.
so all-encompassing. So my question... Oh, hey, that's Michelle.
She's saying, I didn't want to ignore her.
What'd she say?
She said, "Hello, Minister Tish," with a big old heart. I like the truth aspect because you got to be honest. Because if we're going to be honest, and I'll throw this out here, a lot of time, well, I won't say a lot of time, there are times when a person wants to keep hold of a friend because they want to keep them close because they provide something for them that they're not getting out of their marriage or their serious relationship.
Wow.
We talked about that last week. But we got, since we're being open and honest, a person has to say to themselves or ask themselves, what is this piece of the puzzle that this person is feeling? And I'm keeping them around because I want them to feel that and not necessarily get that from my spouse or my girlfriend, my boyfriend, whatever the case might be. In those cases, you know, how do we advise that individual? I mean, let's just throw this out here. What if the spouse or the girlfriend or boyfriend is not really feeling that need like the friend is? What do you do?
Well, I'm always going to encourage, if you're in a marriage, I'm going to encourage you to exhaust it to the very end. I mean, counseling, be open, be honest, try to dialogue with each other and listen to the painful truth that's trying to be explained. You may not want to hear it. You may feel like, oh, well, I can't believe you brought me into this mess. You feel this way. Okay, you know what? It's time for truth and honest exposure. But it doesn't mean that everything has to be over at that point. If you're willing to try to work through, because God can do the miraculous.
Right.
Sometimes we just don't want to deal with that pain that comes before the miraculous may have to come about. So yeah, that's how I feel about marriage. You know, you work through it and you try to work it, you try to exhaust it, and you try to ride that thing out and get better. And here's the thing too, I want to say this. If you've been in a bad situation, you don't pull yourself out of a bad situation quick, fast, and in a hurry. So don't sit back and give it time and say, well, you know what, we've been working at this for X amount of time and it's not getting no better, so we might as well call it quits. Okay, sometimes you may quit too soon, sometimes you may not. It's an individual thing, but I just feel that God can do anything. But if you're in a relationship, not marriage, man, you can get out of that joke.
Yeah.
You can step back.
You got the liberty there.
Right.
I agree. And I think that it just goes again, and it's like a theme. It just keeps coming back up. But you know, the communication, the open communication, the honesty, the truth. You've got to be in the. If you cannot express, I'm not feeling loved, I'm not feeling that we are understanding each other's love languages, then it's unhealthy already.
You just brought up what came to my mind.
Yeah, if you cannot express those emotions freely, there's something that needs to be looked at in the relationship off the start. Because a healthy relationship is going to at least have room for that communication. Even if it's not something both people are good at and doing, there's room for it when it's healthy. And so if you're in something where you can't say that and you're just gleaning from someone else, you're already off to the worst start ever for the relationship, and you're going to endanger the friendship because you're gonna when your relationship gets jacked up and it's because of the friend or the friendship, now you've got issues on both hands.
Wow.
So is it safe to say you should be getting everything you need at home?
You should.
Right.
That's a good question. We posed that last week.
Yeah.
We posed that last week.
But here's the thing, that's tricky. And here's why I say that's tricky. Because let's just say you're in a season where you need to get a certain thing and your spouse or your, fiance, what have you, they're not able to give you that then in that season. I mean, because everybody may not be there at the same time. And again, if you're looking at a time frame of, well, they just not doing it for me. I mean, that could be detrimental.
It can.
If you're quick to move.
If you're quick to move, because looking back, that is a great portion of what created the issues in my former marriage. And it goes back. This is a slight little plug, but I'm a total advocate for the 5 love languages.
Yes, me too.
All manner of relationships. I'm a total like Gary Chapman. Go get the book and everything. But it kind of goes into that. You knowing the language of love for your partner, because I didn't know his. He didn't know mine. And so we kept clashing because of like, well, I'm not getting what I need. Well, he doesn't know what I need. So he can't give it to me. But, and that comes with, getting that knowledge of what says love to them and what says love to me is going to be different. But when we come to that place of understanding, because he would say, let's go out to eat. And to him, that was love. We're going somewhere. We're doing something. Where that wasn't my language. So I was like, I'm tired of going out to eat. I don't want to eat no more. Let's do it.
Right.
But so yeah, that's that understanding the love, what says love to the other person is big.
Yeah. You gotta be multilingual.
Yeah, definitely.
I think about this when you said, Ray, it might not be time for that person to provide that need. I look at it like this, and you can chime in if you agree or disagree. The farmer sows the seed, and he sows seed for, just say corn. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Okay. And in 2 weeks after he sowed the seed, he's looking for that ground to give him corn. And the ground says, not yet. I'm not ready for the corn. This farmer needs to go back and till and water and de-weed and protect from environmental hazards and vermin and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then he needs to, when it starts to come through the ground, he needs to do a little bit more work to make sure that corn comes when it's time. But he can't expect the corn to get to full maturation until he's done what he needs to do to provide the environment for that corn stalk to prosper. Gotcha. And I think, and we've all said it, moving too quick, things of that nature. I think that if a spouse or a fiance, girlfriend, boyfriend is not providing a need that we have, first of all, the communication piece is critical. You got to say, I'm looking for this. I'm not going to abandon my field of corn and run to Meyer and get some stalks that's already been picked because I can't wait for my field to bring me fully mature corn.
Come on.
So I look at it kind of like that. You've got to put in the love language work, communication work, fostering an environment that speaks to my need and letting that individual get to the point where they can provide.
Exactly.
Now, alternatively, despite your best effort, sometimes the corn stalk comes up and it's bad or it dies. And then you've got to decide whether I'm going to live without this corn or am I going to try again or go to mine. But I think the best chance you have at getting your needs met is providing an environment where those needs can be met. Your thoughts?
Good.
Yeah, I think that's good. Really, I think that's well said. And if I can just give a snapshot into, you and our relationship. When you got married, Nate, we had 5 years of friendship. We hit. So, and this being said, when you married Michelle, if you were to expect for her to be able to ride the waves and respond to your every whim or your every need the way we had to learn you, we as in your boys, when we were hanging out together and realized that there was some tender moments that you may have had that we knew we couldn't just blow off. We had to approach it a certain way because you need to be heard at that time. Saying that to say, you had to give Michelle time to learn that, though she may have been great in other areas, but there may be some times when in your relationship, 4 years, 2 years, or whatever, that she had to learn, okay, he doesn't need this, he needs this in that instance. So to prematurely say she's just not cutting it for me would have been wrong. Because you have to give people, and sometimes, I don't care how long you've been together, different things come up, because we're evolving all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say people change.
Yeah. So
constantly.
Not only are we evolving, but people don't really grasp the actual depth of the process for marriage of two persons literally meshing into one. That process is huge.
Yeah.
And the time that we're talking about right now, you have to give that time. You're literally meshing two complete people into one person. And, that's mindsets, thoughts, ideas, perspectives, everything. That is not a short process. It's going to take some time. And that's what the friendship and all the stuff we previously talked about, that's what that is. That's what you're building in that process of time. But, that's a big thing to make two people literally fit together as one.
Oh,
so,
that's huge. That's a long process too. It doesn't happen automatically or immediately.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So would you say in some cases where there is insecurity with a friend of the opposite sex in a relationship, would maturity bring security? If you think about, as we're getting to this point of maturity that you mentioned earlier, Ray, and Tish, about becoming more secure with who you are and who your significant other is in your relationship, does it come to a point where, okay, I'm secure now, I know who I am and I know who they coming home to, so have your friends?
I
was just gonna say, I think maturity can bring security, but it doesn't always heal insecurity totally.
That's deep.
Yeah, heal. Speak on that.
So
that's real deep.
Yeah.
Maturity can bring you to a place of being mature enough to say, well, I'm not gonna fuss and fight and argue and cry about it, but you gotta heal the insecurity that is within. The maturity deals with the surface, the outside, but you have to heal and do the internal work for insecurity that makes you not just say, well, I ain't gonna say nothing about it, but what brings you to the point of, I know who I am, and I know who he is, and I know what we have, and it's good.
Right.
Man.
I like that. Yeah, that was a nugget right
That's
there.
That's a real nugget. She saw the show, Joe, on the Ray on the wisdom nugget. Man. Well, we're getting close to our time. We got 7 minutes or so. We usually go about an hour. And again, this topic is one that we could talk about for another hour.
It could be a series.
I think it might have to be, because we went off in so many different branches today from the original topic last week. I'm not sure if we really answered the question. I'm not sure if we adequately answered the question if men and women can just be friends. But I think the tools present to help that along are the maturity, the communication, understanding your spouse. Oh, let me get these 2 comments in here before we get off. It's got a couple of new. Ashley Marie has some good contents. Lady Sugar has some good comments. And we've got Mr. Nitty. Says, trying to merge 2 worlds is hard work, and the person you marry must be willing to put the work in. Great marriages are built. Sometimes we're too selfish to work to learn someone else.
Ooh.
Good comment. Good comment. And that's very true.
That's big.
Yeah.
Yes,
that is.
True. That's going to be some serious work, probably the hardest work of your life.
Yeah, and that goes that two worlds merging together goes back to last week's statement of us being taught how to play nice in the sandbox together. You know, we grow up to make friends, and then to just say, "Oh, we're done making friends," that's just not realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So you got to have the boundaries in place, the understanding. You got to trust your partner's intuition. All of those things have to be in place.
Yeah.
If you're going to consider opposite sex friendships when you are in a committed relationship. So
good point, Nitty.
Here's another. Jay Will showed up. Says, thank you, Tishley Janeene, for your honesty, especially on behalf of men, even if you didn't mean to. She has love for all of us, Jay Will.
Oh, yes.
So I want to thank Tish for joining us today.
Yeah.
We really enjoyed having you. You brought the noise, as they say.
And
just
invite me back. I loved it.
Oh, we would be glad to invite you back. I was pleasantly surprised and impressed with your level of insight.
Yeah,
I haven't had a chance to talk to you in some time, so this was refreshing to see where you are now, and just to see what God is doing for you in your life, your ministry, and we're going to be praying for you to reach those next heights in Him.
Thank you.
Other than Facebook, how can people find you?
I am on Instagram also with daily inspiration, mostly for women, but everybody can take something from it. But it's I am _Tishley Janeene on Instagram, and we'll have a website. It's almost finished, and it'll be live and up, and we're gonna post that on the Facebook page. If you follow the Facebook page, you'll see everything that's coming in the very, very, very near future, and we have some amazing and exciting things coming. Inspirational for men and women, actually. So yeah, follow on Facebook, and that'll keep you up to date on everything else that's coming.
Very good. I'll leave your Facebook page down here so people can see it.
Awesome.
For those of you listening, we appreciate you coming by. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the content, let people know that we are here every Sunday bringing you these hot topics of conversation.
What time?
7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday.
Hey, are we taking Super Bowl Sunday off? Just wondering.
And I don't know. When is Super Bowl Sunday?
2 Sundays from now.
You know, we probably will, because I'm sure people. Well, I don't know. We'll ask the fans.
Let's watch the game while we're doing.
You want to do a live watch? We'll do that.
Okay.
Watch it with us, and we won't get any copyright strikes because it won't be like a real broadcast. So, but yeah, thank you guys so much once again, Ray, Jake, Tishley. Thank you for joining. And we'll see you next time. Have a good night.
All right.
Thank you.